Welcome back, everybody, to game number 3. Armageddon facing off against Zenith. Both Singaporean teams. Zenith, of course, with a bit of a new look. Ice not playing for them today. Nutz is standing in his place. And then, of course, the other two former Aeon members playing for them as well. In tsuwamon as well as Kane. We're here in game number 3. You're watching the GEST Dota 2 playoffs. And speaking of the playoffs, whenever you have playoffs, you have brackets, and we have some brackets for you today. This is round 1. This is your quarterfinals action. We have 2 more quarterfinals matches coming up today. We'll have one on this channel in about an hour's time, assuming this game doesn't go for 90, 100, 150 minutes. I would love that. I would absolutely love that, but assuming it ends in a reasonable time frame, then we'll be having MUFC versus First Departure here in about an hour and 10 minutes or so. Meanwhile, over at twitch.tv/GESTIDC, the match with the 2 bigger names, the sort of more well-known teams. Orange, of course, the most popular Malaysian team. Then you have Mineski, who, by the way, if you don't follow Pinoy Dota, these guys have almost 500,000 likes on Facebook. Yeah, I'm not exaggerating. Go look at Navi's Facebook page. They have maybe 100,000, maybe a little bit more, which is fantastic. Don't get me wrong, but Mineski, a very popular Dota team, hasn't had much success in Dota 2, but hey, they made it into the playoffs, which, you know, some other great teams didn't. So here we are in game number 3. Let's talk about Zenith. Let's talk about Armageddon. Let's talk about this game. As far as the draft goes, Armageddon give away a Templar Assassin. Do pick some decent heroes to deal with her. Sprout can be very potent against TA before she gets her Blink Dagger. Leshrac can be very annoying for her in team fights with Edict, with Pulse Nova. Overall though, I gotta say, I don't think they have enough to deal with this Templar Assassin. I'm not convinced by the draft so far. They're also giving up 2 really strong mid-game supports. What they do get is great lockdown, great early game pushing power in Leshrac and Prophet. Who goes to the offlane for Armageddon? I guess it's a Nature's Prophet offlane, a Sand King Leshrac dual lane, a Queen of Pain solo, and then maybe another hero for the jungle, maybe another hero for the offlane, and a Prophet in the jungle. I always get very sad when I see Leshrac Sand King tri-lanes. I really hope that's not what we're going to see out of Armageddon, especially against Tiny Wisp. You got to have a powerful start. And, well, speaking of powerful starts, this looks like something very bizarre from Zenith. Who in the world is going to that suicide lane? Are we going to see mid pulls and a tri-lane in the safe lane? Maybe that's, and just the suicide lane abandoned. That might be it from Zenith, because they don't have a great tri-lane. Ugh, is there any chance we'll see maybe, I guess, a solo mid Tiny, a safe lane solo TA, and then a tri-lane Wisp Jakiro Disruptor, a solo Wisp? I don't know. This is curious, and Armageddon further compound, not the confusion, but the curiosity by, I guess we could see dual lanes from Zenith. We could see a Tiny Wisp dual lane, a Disruptor Jakiro dual lane. The problem is, normally I would say that's very susceptible to aggressive tri-lanes. Wisp Tiny as a dual lane just isn't that great against an aggressive tri-lane. Neither of those heroes are particularly strong in the laning stage. But Armageddon basically say, we're just going to farm a lot this game. We're going to pick up the Lycan, maybe a jungle Lycan, maybe a... This is odd from both teams. Very bizarre play. Lycan... And the game is laughing at my confusion. Dota is trolling me hard. I hope you guys could hear that. Because I just heard the Prophet laugh. Probably some LOLs coming out in team chat right now. This is interesting stuff. You'd expect the offlane Prophet, the jungle Lycan, the solo mid Queen of Pain, the dual lane Sand King Leshrac. Maybe Lycan gets some lane farm. Maybe the other 2 do a lot of pulls. You still don't really know. Lycan's not the best jungler. If you put him as the lane farmer, then your Sand King Leshrac aren't really getting what they want, so nothing will be ideal for Armageddon. XY will be going solo mid as the Templar Assassin. For Zenith, he'll be going for the early bottle. Kane on the Tiny. Stout Shield picked up. Nutz, the stand-in, formerly of Aeon. If anyone watched the International 2 East qualifiers, he's got quite a dose of Aeon back then. This is one of those players from the roster. He's playing the Twin-Headed Dragon. More Aeon stand-ins galore. Kane, of course, was from Aeon, but it looks like he's an official member of Zenith now. xfreedom, the jungler and support player for Zenith, he'll be handling... It is going to be those mid pulls. He's already got a Quelling Blade picked up. We're going to see him probably eat these trees fairly soon. This will also help you against Sprout, so 2 good reasons to get a Quelling Blade. That's what I expect to see anyway from Freedom. Not sure though. And offlane Wisp. That's tsuwamon, another Aeon player. This is just, again, the lanes are just awkward for Zenith. They don't have an off lane. They don't have a strong tri lane. They have okay tri lane options, but nothing that's really good enough to be aggressive. And it looks like maybe just an off lane Wisp. I guess it's the best they can do. It makes more sense than anything else, I suppose. It's not a strong off lane. It's an easy first blood if she gets caught out of position. You can use Tether to kind of juke away from the enemy team. They don't have the best initiation range at level 1. Once that burst rate gets up to level 2 or 3, life gets a lot harder, though. And you can also use Spirits to scout. They do give you a bit of vision. So you have some options here. Over on the side of Armageddon, we have Faker playing the solo mid Queen of Pain. And he plays a very aggressive ganking style Queen of Pain. Most Queen of Pain's gank, but... Well, you know, pretty much all of them except for Burning gank. Anyway, but he ganks a lot. He ganks at level 5, he ganks without runes, he ganks just constantly. Insidious C will be that offlane Prophet. It is going to be a Sand King doing some pulls, a Leshrac zoning away that Wisp. That's being played by a Rettle. And finally, Jolent on the Lycanthrope. And of course, El Smurf on the Sand King. Forgot to mention his name there. So as you know, sort of as expected, somebody awkward had to go to the offlane for Zenith, and it is going to be the Wisp, who is terrified of a smoke gank. Apparently, just terrified. tsuwamon's just going to journey back to base. And then look to creep block. This is smart. This is actually... The problem, though, is that they're doing so many pulls that you can creep block all you want. There's just no creeps. There's no creeps entering the lane. And honestly, I'm surprised we're not seeing this being pulled as well. Then you have multiple pulls. Wisp is truly denied. Actually whiffs the creep block, so... Creeps won't be anywhere near the tower. I think Wisp might be better off just... You know, even just sitting in lane. Take some experience from the Tiny. Just don't let Choi Knight of Dragon get anything from the lane. Have him do all the pulls, or switch those two up, because this offlane Wisp is getting literally nothing. Literally 0 creeps. Offlane Prophet is getting something. So far, experience, gold, pretty much dead even, but you really do need that Wisp to get a level 6 in a reasonable time frame, or the Tiny Wisp combo isn't what it could be. Notice how XY actually managed to dodge that Shadow Strike with a well-timed meld. Very smart play. For anyone who doesn't know, abilities such as Poison Gale and Shadow Strike will not affect units that are invisible, or that, unless you catch them before they faded, and Meld has an instant fade, so there's no fade time to it. Or unless you have True Sight to reveal them. So nice little tactic there, and limits the harassment and cutting potential of Queen of Pain quite a bit. XY has picked up a DD rune. This is going to make life very, very difficult for Faker. 9 and 3, but getting outfarmed by XY. You do expect to see Templar Assassin winning this lane, and FaZe actually runs right into a Ghost. He's not going to be happy about that. Split Earth is going to hit on tsuwamon. There is no follow-up here. This is all about the harassment, but look at how pathetic Wisp is. 0 armor, 500 health. Even Jakiro just laughs at her puny auto attacks, her abysmal base armor. I say her. I know some people think Wisp is an it. It depends on your mythology, but I'll probably call it a he at some point. This is a multi-gendered Wisp for me. Wisp is Woots. Yeah, this is tsuwamon. This is not Woots. Funny, I see the Pinoy players have woken up and decided to watch some Dota. Getting warmed up for their Mineski game in an hour or so. Should be a treat. Good news is, Tiny is free farming, Jakiro is getting some levels. Wisp? She's got a creep or two. You'll notice how she's just constantly tethering to a creep. Just have that move speed ready, and then you can just re-tether right as it cools down. So you're just moving a little bit faster, and, well, here comes the gank, but there is no smoke, and this will be spotted by Radiant Ward. Questionable, because they really could get a kill on XY with Sentry Wards and with the smoke, but this is a lot of wasted time. Unless XY decides to bait, and he could, because he's got Disruptor. who even at level, well, actually doesn't have kinetic field. Normally you don't see Thunderstrike, but I guess with these pulls, he wants to have Thunderstrike just to help him jungle a little bit. And this is going to give Wisp something she shouldn't get anything of, which is experience, which is level 2 soon. She's going to have the spirits up. Meanwhile, bottom lane, the tier 1 is dropping quite low. It should be falling soon. Prophet has hit 3. Not getting the greatest farm, but getting something. Level 5 Tiny, level 4 Jakiro. You'd like to see them kill this Prophet soon. They definitely have that potential to do so. Meanwhile, the contesting of the small camp, they're actually dual laning mid now. This is not an effective dual lane, though. This is not a hero like Crystal Maiden or Venomancer who can at least spam some harass from long range. It's a Sand King. And it's a Sand King versus a Templar Assassin. The tier 1 did drop mid. Kane's up to 1,400 gold. And he's going to run right into these two supports, but this might be exactly what the Doctor ordered for Zenith. This is going to be our first blood avalanche toss. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, and now Smurf dropping low. Will he be brought down? They could look for a toss. Toss the Jakiro up on top of the Sand King, and that's going to force him to run away. The threat of that toss wants to deny to the Ancients. He will manage to do so, but only barely. I see you guys just got to hear my Wisp gender comments. I like to stimulate some interesting intellectual debate. Again, notice how Wisp has gotten so much experience, already about to hit level 4. If they had just stayed top, this would not have happened. If they'd smoke ganked mid, they probably would have gotten a first blood on Templar Assassin. Or at the very least, they could have just come right back. Sure, Lycan's still farming, but you're gonna be a hero who should have nothing as much as Prophet. Almost as much as Prophet as far as the levels go.
For you.
That is a big... It's one of these things where it's not, you're not going to see a kill, but come the mid game, Wisp will actually be able to have an impact. She's got her boots. She's actually getting a couple of creeps, 6 and 2. She's got some tower gold. Honestly, not too far off of whatever she wants. You know, you expect something like an urn, maybe even... I would say Mechanism is a nice item on her, but she's not farming that well. Even something like Arcane Boots wouldn't be too bad. Kane's already got his drums complete. I was thinking an early Blink Dagger would be pretty good this game. But phase might drop. We're looking for a Ferrari splash. We're not going to find it, but there will be your Thunderstrike. And now Glimpse back all the way. Glimpsed all the way back. Was it too far? Was it a glimpse too far? It was not. They will find the kill on Queen of Pain.
Did I interrupt you?
And Queen of Pain just getting absolutely destroyed middle lane. The supports coming mid actually hurt her. Just delays her farm, delays her leveling process. She's only level 4. Should easily be level 5 or 6, even with these even with that death mid. Having the supports in lane for so long, and it hurts them on multiple fronts. Armageddon just feeling a little bit lost. Now the good news is Lycan is free farming. Lycan did get a lane, so he's already level 6. He's going for the wolves. He is maxing them out, which we'll see how it works, but Edict will be dropped. Sometimes I've seen some Lycan players experimenting with leveling up Pal first. The wolves are just not as good, but they are decent at tanking nukes. The problem is you're up against Tiny and Templar Assassin. And to that physical damage, the wolves die a lot more quickly than they used to. Sankey disconnects, and what a time for him to disconnect. Will they actually go in on this? Wisp could tether forward to one of these creeps, look to wrap around. But if she does so, there are 4 heroes here. They'll probably make her pay. Disruptor does have the level 2 glimpse. Sankey looks to be dead because of that. Also, King is going to be TP'd in top. He's got 2.5 seconds. They do have the Lycan ult. Lycan will be fine. Prophet can ground sprout this area. They're probably losing 1, though. This looks to be a dead Sand King. He does a Burrow Strike. Maybe he can Burrow Strike out of vision. Got to see when the glimpse is timed. It all really comes down to that. Freedom is going to glimpse it back. Perfect timing. And the worst time in the world if you're Smurf. Now the tether onto King. And the chase is on. The orbs bouncing through. Avalanche toss, bringing down that very, very squishy support roaming Leshrac. Now middle lane, it's XY who already has his blink. 8 minutes in. Unbelievable farm. The early tier 1 really helping him out. 43 CS. It's not really unbelievable creep score, but it's just unbelievable getting that kill middle lane, getting the tower bottom. That's a quick blink for him, and he also rushed it. He didn't get the phase boots as well, which is another big reason why it's so quick. 900 gold less spent before he's able to pick that up. Or excuse me, 1,000 gold? No, 900. Too early for math. Too early for math here in Philadelphia. Also, we don't have the best public school system here, so I blame that for my inability to add two numbers together. Meanwhile, top lane Cade, more importantly, going in for the backstab, another easy avalanche toss tether kill. And this is the gank train you don't want to get rolling. Wisp is getting close to 6, has the orbs, has the arcane boots. Level 3 orbs start to really hurt me. While middle lane, they want XY, but he is a very tough kill. Can he meld? They do have a sentry ward. Lycan's going to go man mode. Where's that meld? He's going to pop it. He's got the refraction up now. Smurf thinking about dropping a sentry, but too late. Not enough damage. Now the regen rune pop. And that's the difference between, well, a hero like Templar Assassin and a hero like anyone else. Any other hero pretty much dies there. Maybe a Puck survives. That's about it. TA gets away, no problem, and with that lucky regen rune, we'll be back to full HP. Armageddon, they know they can't really fight. Their supports will just die to that avalanche toss combo. They'll die to the AoE, so they just try to split push. They have Prophet, they have Lycan. They're not a bad lineup to do it. The issue is Leshrac and Sandking are just total food this game. Level 4 on both these heroes, no HP, no items to speak of. Talked about that support Sandking, just a very risky proposition. And this is the weakness of the Lycan pick. Inversions past. Ooh, whoa, hello middle lane. Leshrac gonna get solo killed by TA. Shouldn't really be a surprise at all. Well, if Leshrac leaves his base, he's probably a solo kill to anyone. The Tiny, the TA, it really doesn't matter. But in ages past, Lycan, you could throw him in the jungle, give that safe lane farm to the Leshrac or to the Sand King, but you know, it'd even have the Prophet just double jungling, and if you don't want to put him in the off lane. But in this version, he's got to get the lane farm. He just can't jungle, and that pick really limits your laning options, and Zenith have been punished here. Here comes the relocate middle lane. Midget Blink from Faker, but will it be enough? That Burrow Strike's got to hit perfectly. Avalanche will bring him low. Now the Ice Pet, the toss forward, and the damage is too severe. Our Reynolds next in line. He will drop to this. Meanwhile, on the other line of play, it's actually everyone dropping low, but who's going to fall to this? Freedom's still alive. Nutz is running away. Faker unable to give chase, afraid of blinking forward and getting killed off by that Templar Assassin. Meanwhile, Lycan rotates mid. He did manage to get a tier 1, picking up a little bit of steam, a little bit of tower map control for his team. Mechanism coming soon, that will help, but there's so much burst. Who knows if you get the mech off in a team fight. Either way, the fight continues mid. Smurf chipping away at the tower. The Howl gonna bring this down quickly. Now Prophet just consistently chipping away at TA with auto tanks, making sure she doesn't have the full refraction charges up. Here comes the Burrow Strike, but it's into an Ice Path. An Ice Path on 2, I might add. Do they have a Sentry Ward? Do they have detection? Not yet. Going for the Ferrari splashes. Going for that damage over time. Or chip damage, I should say. Smurf able to get away for the moment. There is a Blink. Where is the Blink? Not using it yet. Doesn't want to jump into Leshrac. Has the Edict up. Nice little death ball from Armageddon. Now looking to turn this one around. Where is the sentries? Where is the lockdown? Here comes Kane. Avalanche. Toss onto FaZe. FaZe still, or Faker still alive. He will survive for the moment. Unbelievable. Just able to blink away. 9-2, but it feels like it should be more. And now that Lycan, the big bad wolf, going to work, going to town. Maybe not. The Burrow Strike is going to miss. Now the trap's being spammed up, and he will escape. Should have had that kill. A slight misclick. Prophet ult bouncing through. Unfortunately, there was refraction up, so it's not actually going to secure a kill. Going to work, though. I see some people asking in chat, where's godz' stream? Godz is not streaming now. He's streaming in 1 hour. That's when Orange versus Mineski will kick off, and that'll be at twitch.tv/GESTIDC. As for me, I'll be streaming MUFC versus First Departure, which is a bit of an unknown Singaporean team. So, of course, we'll see who MUFC plays with. Maybe HYHY will be steady in for them again. I saw some people speculate about that. Always fun to see HYHY. Really, he's the Black of the Asian scene. Has pretty much stood in for every team at this point. And, you know, we even saw him playing for EG, and he's had a decent impact so far. But back to this game where it's Smurf. Still only level 5. No Epicenter, no Blink Dagger, no Arcane Boots in sight. Just needs to get that level 4 Burrow Strike. That's got to be objective #1 for him. The gold lead, rather significant right now for the Radiant. That's what you would expect. Here come the Wolves, though. Burrow Strike in. They're going to catch on XY. Where's that Epicenter when you need it? The Split Earth will hit. Too many sources of damage. XY, no chance, no how. He will fall to this. Now the chase is on, and by the chase, I mean the massive treants. All the treants doing +7 damage. That really stacks up quickly. That's 8, 9 treants, all hitting for an extra 7. That's about a plus 70 damage. I believe creep's damage type means they do reduce damage to buildings, but nonetheless, that will still stack up quite a bit. And Armageddon just showing that they can work down these towers pretty quickly. They gotta be careful though. If anyone overextends, that's where the glimpse comes in. Fortunately, there's no static storm. L Smurf getting bold, getting, frankly, borderline cocky. King has the phase boots, the drums, and the point booster up. Once he gets that Aghanim's, well, the summons are dead. You're not going to see Treants doing anything. You're not going to see the Lycan Wolves doing anything. This feels like a game where Lycan just has to get a BKB. If he doesn't get a BKB, and he gets caught by a glimpse inside of a kinetic field, he's dead. He gets caught by any of the chain stuns, he's dead. But even if he gets a BKB, it doesn't solve all of his problems. Now, that's assuming he wants to fight. If they really want to split push, obviously the Necro 3 is always a legitimate option. I don't know, though. It's tricky. I feel like this Lycan's got to be in the front lines for them. Sand King can't go in first because he doesn't have the items, he doesn't have the levels. Queen of Pain. Going for what maybe is a Bloodstone. Oh, this is bad. Glimpsy back in, but Smurf actually turns it into a 2-hero Burrow Strike. Nicely done. Queen of Pain ult bouncing through. Nutz will fall. What a play by Smurf. Manning up instead of trying to run away, and he secures the kill and survives. Really nice little play from him. And Zenith just not anticipating that. They thought they could find the kill. Here comes the big bad Tiny. And running away is the big bad wolf. Meanwhile, top lane, the Wisp and the TA combo. Not the Tiny Wisp, but hey, maybe it'll work. Can the splashes continue blinking into the trees? This is going to be an escape. A great play by Insidious. And all of a sudden, Armageddon just taking some wind out of the sails of Zenith. Can Zenith afford to sit back? Armageddon gets to a point in this game where they have the great AoE stuns with Burrow Strike. The best AoE stun in this game by far. It's not even close there. Targeted, reliable to hit multiple heroes. They've got the split pushing potential. It's still going to be dicey to team fight versus Zenith, but Zenith just not executing well. That's really what it comes down to. This is going to make life a lot trickier, though. Lycan has gone back for a rather late Aegis or Medallion, and that's going to secure him an Aegis, assuming he takes it. He will. He will. There you go. Now he takes it. XY farming up top, going towards a BKB of his own. Has the Ogre Club picked up already, and it's a good time to check item progression in general. Aghanims is going to be rushed by Tiny. Not going for the Asha first. Not going for the early BKB or the Blink Dagger. Just going for the early Aghanims. Once that split push, once that AoE combo, it puts more emphasis on the Disruptor. The teamfight of Zenith really seems to be about a good kinetic field. If they catch one, everyone's silenced, they're held in place. Then your Tiny follows up, your Macro Pyre gets laid down, and it's just absolute annihilation. Here come the traps top lane. Prophet needs the Sprout. Will it be enough, though? Toss, Avalanche, breaks through the trees. But look at the mech, keeping him alive. 16 armor, and Zenith again failing on the ganks. Continue to try and gank this Prophet, who normally is the hero you want to kill just because he's off on his own, but he's tanky with that mech. Mechanism just proving why it is still one of the most broken and powerful items in the world of Dota. Well, broken's maybe unfair. Hey, both teams can build it. There's the Queen of Pain on 2. Static Storm is quite good. They're running towards the kinetic field, getting body blocked by it. Isn't enough, though. Faker actually lives. Burrow Strike on 2. Disaster ensues for Zenith. Buyback coming out from 1. It doesn't matter. That is 3 hero kills, maybe another to fall. Oh, sorry, that was the Prophet who bought back, so actually only 2 dead for Zenith. Nutz, as well as King, now on the run. Nutz looks to possibly be dead here. Blink into the scream. That's another kill. They want freedom. Looking like a team wipe forthcoming. Unless King can TP away. Can they bring him down? They cannot. So the Prophet buyback, but they get 4, and now they get the split push going. The beauty of the Armageddon lineup is when they win a fight, all the lanes get pushed, and they get pushed hard. Zenith just, again, not the best focus fire. The Static Storm kinetic field was good, but the burst damage wasn't there. They needed to kill Queen of Pain during that kinetic field. They got to get a kill when that Static Storm, when that kinetic field is placed down. Otherwise, Armageddon turned the fight around. They have a great turnaround lineup because of Burrow Strike, because of the mechanism on the Prophet. Look at that gold graph. It's not a Mount Everest by any means, but We're seeing a nice little mountain shape here. Pretty significant gold lead now for the Dire side, sitting around 2k gold lead for them. And the experience graph tells a similar tale, and boy, did I talk about it earlier. I talked to you guys to death about, well, how Sankey needs levels. He was level 5, 4 or 5 minutes ago. Now, all of a sudden, he's level 8. He's got 1,300 gold. He's getting close to his level 2 ult. He's got his ult, more importantly. He's getting close to his Blink Dagger. And he can rush it because Queen of Pain's got those Arcane Boots. Speaking of Queen of Pain's items, she's also got an Aeon Scepter out. And Armageddon, you know, every single one of their farmers is a great split pusher, a great solo hero. It looks like Lycan is going for BKB now. He'll be the front lines initiator. Really, the way Armageddon wants to fight is Lycan just runs in with the BKB, baits a bad fight. As I say that, Sankey will get picked off by the Tiny Whisk combo. An important kill for Zenith. They got to get some momentum going back their way. Speaking of momentum, well, Split Earth is here. Disruptor is going to fall. Top lane, chasing onto Lycan. The big bad wolf just don't care until this guy comes, until Rockman shows up, and now he will run away, tossing the creep forward. That's not going to be enough, though. Will they actually chase this? He's trying to bait them. He's trying to bait them, running in, running out. Are they going to take the bait? They took it enough, but it's an avalanche toss. The mech turning the fight around. Ice Path on 4. Actually, maybe only on 3, but still amazing. Macro Pyre as well. Nutz is trying to win this fight by himself. King's still alive. Everybody else forced to run away. The E just got popped as well. Queen of Pain dies. Leshrac dies. And the E just popped. 3 kills. They're going to get another. They're going to get a 4th kill. Oh, really, effectively a 4th kill. Joe Lynch will fall. Ice Path. The new Fissure? The new and improved Fissure? I think so. I think yes. Oh, boy. Talk about turnaround potential. This right here, and it's not the worst part, the most frustrating thing for Armageddon has to be, well, if only they knew. This is a level 2 Ice Path. It's not even maxed. It's not the full duration. It's not the lowest possible cooldown. It doesn't matter, though. You hit that Ice Path, the fight completely flips on its head. And, of course, the Macro Pyre, the Dual Breath, did a lot of good damage as well. Kane has his own Aeon Scepter up, so gets a big item for him. Now TA's back on top. She's our lead farmer. BKB is coming soon. Wisp has a very early Talisman of Evasion. Just worried about the Lycan focusing her down in BKB once this Talisman of Evasion, so she's a little bit harder to kill. And the nice thing is you can build a Sange after this, which gives you really cost-effective HP. Faker's got to be careful. They're coming in for him. They want to go blink in. The tether isn't there, though. Needs to re-tether. Not able to do so. That allows Faker to blink away. He will survive. The other good thing about that fight is it slows down Smurf's Blink Dagger. He just about had it before the fight. If the fight had gone the other way, he probably gets close to level 11. Instead, well, he doesn't have it. It's going to be maybe a 24, 25-minute blink, assuming these fights go back and forth. If he gets a couple of kills, he'll have it real soon. Nice dewarding by Freedom. Being scouted out by the Wolves, which can set up some ganks for them. Jolint lurking in the wings, I should say. Goes on to XY, then turns back for tsuwamon, but they need to focus him down. Queen of Pain ult drills him. Absolutely tears him into one. He will drop. Now the Burrow Strike forward. No escape for Nutz. Just both of these teams trading blows. Left hook followed by a right jab. One after the other, back and forth. They're both bleeding out of the mouths, but nobody has been knocked out of the ring just yet. Zenith wins a fight, then Armageddon wins a fight. Armageddon wins a fight, then Zenith strikes right back. And crucially, Sandkeen's going to have his blink. He's also going to hit level 10 soon. That level 2 epicenter. Big this game. Extra pulses versus Templar Assassin. Well, when she's in BKB, it doesn't really matter at all. But if she's not, if she gets chain stun, which is possible with the Burrow Strike even to start things off, it's going to help remove those refraction charges. You're looking at a Zenith lineup. They don't have a pipe. They don't have anyone who's really a natural pipe carrier. Jakiro could maybe build it, but he's opted wisely just for the cheaper, more versatile item in the mechanism. BKB coming soon on the Lycanthrope. Everything looking pretty good for both teams. There's no clear advantage this game. It really does come down to execution. It's different styles of lineup. It's more sort of AoE team fight from Zenith. It's more spread the map, good initiation, and pick-off potential from Armageddon. And it really could go either way. There's the Blink Dagger on Sand King, as expected. Leshrac just going for the mass bracers. honestly, even just turning these into double drums is not a bad build. It sounds silly, it sounds bad, but they give you such cost-effective stats, and that's what you need. Just a bunch of stats, bunch of HP. You're not farming a BKB unless your team gets a couple of big team fights, in which case, well, you can build what you want anyway, because you're looking in good shape regardless. King, sitting on 2,600 gold, has really picked up his farm. He had died once and was just falling a little bit behind, but now the Tiny Wiz combo is online. This is where a Lycan who's just got his BKB is actually going to be okay, but the other heroes have to be very careful. Prophet now going for that Scythe device. Armageddon thinking about a Roshan, but they're just not quite in a position to do it. They got to push out this middle lane. Queen of Pain going back to that bottom lane, continuing to farm. Zenith just really want to get the gank trains rolling. They want to start picking up some kills. Hyperstone is the choice for King. Going for that Assault Cuirass, a fantastic choice. This is a perfect item to get. Stacks well with the Templar Assassin minus armor, with the meld. More importantly, gives your team some armor of its own to deal with that Lycanthrope, deal with the Howl, deal with the wolf damage. No sense of urgency from either team, which makes perfect sense because nobody has a clear advantage or disadvantage right now, and both teams can go late. Both teams are very strong at this point. It's more about just finding the correct opening. Armageddon, the correct opening for them is going to be probably trying to sneak a Roshan, maybe using that Sankey Blink Dagger to get a pick off. For Zenith, it's more about the Tiny Wisp. These two, maybe the TA as well, but primarily the Tiny Wisp, want to find a pick off, and then once you get a pick, you've got Tiny. You can bring down Roshan quickly. You can bring down these tier 2 towers quickly. Speaking of Tiny, the versatility of... this is one of the other reasons we're seeing heroes like Tiny and Sven really be popular carries lately, is despite having much higher impact in the early game than a hero like Anti-Mage, they also are great farmers in general. And especially an example of that is being able to farm stacked Ancients, just mowing them down easily. And now he's going back for BKB, not going to complete the Assault Cuirass. A fine choice, not a bad choice. He could just have the BKB now, which, I think would be a little bit more cost-effective, but just buying items that help him now, rather than waiting to complete something bigger. And we'll see how it works out. Bottom lane, the pressure continues. Faker really wants to hit level 16. Gotta get that level 3 ults out to allow the split push to be a little bit more effective. Speaking of split push, look what we're seeing now. Lycan in one lane, Prophet, Queen of Pain in the other, and Kayn in a third. Just trying to chase down that Lycan, trying to end the aggression. And Zenith actually trade rather horribly. They trade 2 tier 2s for one of their own. You don't want to trade towers against Armageddon. They're just going to win that fight every time, unless Tiny Wisp is there. Speaking of Tiny Wisp, they are here, and that is the death of Faker. Right as they go into the Roche pit. Does Queen of Pain a buyback? She does. I think you just got to buyback now. You got to expect they're coming straight for that pit. Are they going to react in time? This Roshan is dropping low, but if they get caught in the pit, the Sand King needs to get out. He's their initiation. He can't die first. He might die first. He will blink away. A moment of extreme tension. Now blinking forward onto Jolin, but Jolin's got the BKB. This is not the hero you want to initiate upon. He'll be okay. Oh. Might have seemed like no action there, but the potential for disaster was there. Even with the Aegis up on Lycan, if Sankey gets caught there, if the supports get caught, they're all dying. Bullet dodge from Armageddon, I gotta say, and now they're gonna have a Queen of Pain respawn, which also means she can just have a buyback. So she's got to... Whoa, barely TPing away. Along with this, Prophet is getting close to Scythe device, and Zenith just want to go for this early Rax. A bit of a siege potential. Still, if your Tiny gets initiated upon, you're in a little bit of trouble. He is fairly tanky with that overcharge, giving him reduced incoming damage. Burrow Strike in from Sandcade, starting it off. We'll have to see if there's any follow-up. Freedom's dropping low. Ice Pet is there. Queen of Pain is there as well. Can you say AoE? I sure can. Elsmurf comes in with a beautiful Epicenter, nailing those supports, bringing them low. Jolin, no BKB, but he does have the Aegis. He'll come back to life. Mauling away. Rockman is angry. Looks like just too many kills for him. Too much damage. Where's that BKB? Queen of Pain ult thrown out there again, but not enough. Not enough. Blinking away. Managing to survive. Prophet TPing into the fight. Just wanted to farm that Hex the whole time. Did not show up. Burrow strike in onto King. King will fall, but he's already done his work. He's already done his damage. This is a Queen of Pain who just fought back. She'll die again. Oh boy, that static storm, that kinetic field, winning the fight. We talked about it. That is what it was all about for Zenith, and boy, did they connect there beautifully. Set up by the Ice Path. Running back in is XY. This is a little cocky. This is a little bold. Oh my god, oy oy oy, what was he thinking? No idea, but he will pay. Nutz next in line. This is going to be 3 heroes dead because of XY's overextension, because of his overaggression. It might even be 4. This might be the Disruptor. This might be a team wipe because that damn Templar Assassin just couldn't be content with the results. Oh boy, as a good support, you know, your job is to stay there and help your carry. You can't run away. The carry's got to know when to disengage. You can't hang your carry out to dry. XY, it was a great fight for Zenith, and then suddenly, well, they forced out enough buybacks that it wasn't at least 1. Did they actually get 2? I know they got the Queen of Pain buyback. They didn't get the Prophet 2. Let's actually check. Oh, sorry, that was actually 3 buybacks. But even so, we look at the gold graph. I only got 1 sound in that fight, but even so, you know, despite the triple buyback, huge gold lead for them, and it's increasing. More importantly, they're getting the last tier 2. They're not going to get racks off of this, but they're going to have huge creep equilibrium, which means they can go farm that enemy jungle, deny them some economic resources, bounce your way through the trees. They also get the Prophet Sight device up. Tiny is still our lead farmer. Kane looking pretty good. But they do have a Sight device, and, well, it comes down to that BKB. If he gets it off at the right time, then it gets really hard to kill this Tiny. But if he doesn't, then he can be brought down. They have good burst damage. They've got a very annoying tank in the Lycanthrope. Also has a Desolator as well. Desolator, a pretty good choice against Tiny for the moment. Until he gets that Assault Cuirass, that -6 armor. He's only got 11 total. And Wisp, of course, with her 3 base armor, is just gonna melt. I like this idea of going for the Heaven's Halberd. I'm just not convinced the evasion first is the way to go. Ice Path is gonna start this fight off. Not the best. Will they look to go? They will not. Now Insidious C, TPing towards the top lane. He arrives. He's gonna start pushing. And Zenith are rather committed to this. Five heroes grouped up. They do have a relocate. They could try to go top, but then the back lines are all going to die, and Armageddon will just clean up the support, so they really can't go Tiny Wisping after this prop, but the racks will fall. Gotta defend soon. Armageddon, they need to go in, but they want the Lycan to be first, and that's where he is. BKB's on everyone. The actually kinetic field completely whipping. Queen of Pain ult, not really doing enough. Sand King dropping low. Epicenter is gonna go off in the end. It's actually slowing down Kane. Kane's getting brought down. Look at the auto tag damage, even from the Queen of Pain. Pretty decent with Hal. Now they focus down the TA. TA will fall. TA will buy back immediately. Kane trapped up. Tree trap from the Prophet. Can't getting close to do the damage he wants to do. Queen of Pain blinking away. But where is that follow-up? It's Sand King. It's L Smurf being a man. Being a Sandman. Getting that kill for his team. Tiny now dead. TA desperately trying to get back to this fight. Freedom will fall. Nutz overextending. Triple kill for Leshrac of all heroes. And out of nowhere, Armageddon. Once again, Zenith just forcing the fight. Getting caught out of position. Templar Assassin fighting over here while the rest of the team is all the way over here. Just getting isolated and picked off. Armageddon with better focus fire, better team positioning, and just better communication of these team fights. Forcing out the buyback, defending the racks. Now, they did lose a tier 3, but they're pretty happy with that. And that Epicenter being channeled and actually going off in the middle of a fight where you've got Avalanche, you've got Toss, you've got Glimpse, you've got the Static Storm. That's 4. Tether, 5. Ice Path as well. That's 6 ways. And are they actually going to get racks off of this? Tiny has buyback, just doesn't want to use it. Not going to get racks, but going to do a lot of damage, especially at that Lycan ult. And Desolator, he's going to work. He's going to be forced to BKB if he wants to live through this. Glimpse back in, but he BKBs. The Glimpse won't pull him in. Now in comes the Sand King. Burrow striking forward. Bit of miscommunication for Armageddon this time around, just not in the best position. Sand King goes in, the rest of the team runs away. Good news, though, for Armageddon is that Zenith already has his items, and they're also losing the fight when they're rather far towards the enemy side of the map. So, no buyback forced out from him. He should be okay. And we're seeing King get kited a little bit in these fights. You know, Epicenter Slow does go through BKB. Wisp is dying pretty quickly, so you're not really getting the tether move speed for too long. This is part of the reason why we see most Tiny players, you know, TC being one of the notable ones, sort of the popularizer of the build. In Dota 2, go for the Manta style. Get the move speed, get the illusions to create some chaos in the team fights. Assault Cuirass is better for your battering ram style Tiny, but not as effective just for the chasing. So it mainly comes down to the Wisp being squishy. Sanj first probably would have been the better choice. Jolin's getting fairly close to his next item. I wonder what it will be. When he's at BKB, he doesn't have to worry about that craggy exterior stun, which is quite important. Because when it's off cooldown, Lycan is, well, really all melee carries are rather countered by that. Kane's almost got the Assault Cuirass. What he doesn't have and what we should check are the buybacks. TA's is on cooldown. Lycan, Prophet, Leshrac have their buybacks. Kane is going to just chop through this tower. Look at the damage. Look at the damage. Faker on the move. Spots out XY. Actually, the Wolf's the first ones to reveal him. Blink at the start. Has the BKB. Has the Arcane Boots. Now he's got to get a Scythe of Ice. Should be the next item. I suppose you could think about a damage item, but you don't really want to try and go man mode versus a hero like Tiny or TA. You just want to lock them down and pick them off. Speaking of TA, XY's managed to farm up a Desolator. But just not going to be that effective against, well, we'll see. I mean, Prophet's got a mech. These heroes have reasonable armor. It'll be nice against Sandking, Leshrac. The more important thing is if they win a fight, this Desolator is going to help them get Rex even easier. My concern is if this Lycan gets big enough, and he gets another Aegis, you know, he's just such a great hero to buy back on. He's such a great late game carry because he's got that ult with such a low cooldown. You use the ult once, you die, you come back to life. You've probably got the ult ready to go again, or close to being off cooldown, and now he's just going to start trading blows. BKB is forced out. Where's that dust? Where's that Sentry Ward? There it is. Now the Scythe onto XY, dropping low. Ice Path not going to help you, and the Burrow Strike narrowly missing. Avalanche whiffs. XY will fall first. Tidy in, though, in the middle of the fight. Wants to go. Smurf able to live, able to survive. Where's that Burrow Strike? They want to go on Kane. It's Wolf versus Rock, and in the end, it's actually Disruptor who dies. It looks like Faker just absolutely cleaned up on the backline of play. 4 heroes dead. Zenith in absolute danger here of losing Rex. Tiny, no buyback because he bought the components, actually bought the recipe as well of that Assault Cuirass. This is why it is very dangerous to not save for buyback when your racks are exposed. And guess who you're doing it against? You're doing it against Prophet. You're doing it against Lycan with the Howl. Zenith are going to lose a lane of Rex. We may see Zenith get knocked out of this tournament right here. This could easily be 2 lanes of Rex. This could even be the game because you're up against Prophet. You're up against Lycan, and they're on the dire side. They're going to get Roshan after this. This is looking quite bad. Tiny chipping away as best he can. 2 lanes of Rex. Is Zenith really going to lose to the upstarts Armageddon? A result which, well, many would not have predicted based on name, but we're seeing here today, name is not everything. You got to come prepared to play up to the sort of the reputation that your name has given you. Now down 2 lanes of Rex. Zenith not out of this just yet, but in quite a pickle, in quite a bit of trouble. Oh boy, that was a kill they needed. The Prophet will drop. Insidious C picked up by the Tiny Wisp combo. They do force out the buyback, which it's Prophet. So if he doesn't have buyback, that is huge. Question is, can they turn it into something before it comes off cooldown? Immediately, he's going to go for Roche. And really, what can Zenith do about this? If they smoke into the pit, top lane's going to push in. Middle lane's going to start pushing in. And Armageddon should be able to react, but they're going to go for it. Zenith are going to go for this Roche. This will probably decide the game. If they win a big team fight, they have a shot. If not, Armageddon are going to win this one. They're all in the pit. The Aegis will be picked up by Lycan. He has the BKB. Will he save it? Will he use it now? Blinking from TA. A great Static Storm kinetic field, but the BKB lets you run away if you want to do so. Insidious C getting mauled, getting brought low. Will King be able to kill him off? The Scythe device used. The TP gets canceled. He still has the Aegis. He's coming back to life. Tiny still trying to kill this Prophet. 2 heroes dead for the Radiant. It's the Disruptor. It's that Wisp who won't be a Tiny side. 2 for 1 so far. Sand King's gonna fight back. And the Broshan Courier just gets mauled. Collateral damage in this fight. A great fight for Zenith. The problem is they didn't get the Aegis, and they didn't win the fight convincingly enough to go for Rax. Now they've got to back off. They can't risk this fight without the Wisp, without the Disruptor. And Armageddon, I wouldn't say they didn't fight particularly well there, but they fought well enough to really avoid catastrophe. They still have the map control. They still have a massive advantage in terms of the ability to just keep the lanes moving towards the Zenith base. Big gold lead, sitting around 7,500 gold. Experience lead not that significant at this point in the game. Experience does have severe diminishing returns, so 10,000 experience early is not the same as 10,000 experience later on, but nonetheless, they are leading in the level department as well. More importantly, it's all about buybacks and core items for the teams. BKB up on Queen of Pain, and Lycan, they've had these for a while. Scythe device, of course, up on your Prophet. And you can really see the limitations, not of Tiny as a carry, but of this Tiny Wisp combo. If Wisp is low HP, she just dies, and then, well, Avalanche Toss, this is a big kill if they can find it. There's the Cleaves onto the creep, but the Burrow Strike away. Elsmurf is surviving. Meanwhile, on the other side of play, Nutz dropping low. They're still chasing the Sand King. They will pick him off. In comes Insidious C. In comes the big, bad, Tiny Rockman. Going to town, cleaving on creeps. Ghost Scepter. Now the Avalanche, bringing him low, but he might be outnumbered here. Can he actually survive through this fight? Can he sustain? XY chasing one. What a time for a Craigie. 3 heroes dead, but the carries are doing it. Zenith are coming back from a 2 Rex deficit. Haven't gotten Rex of their own, but they get 4 hero kills. A lot of heroes don't have the buyback. The middle lane is pushing out. Can Prophet defend this alone? Who else has buyback? Nobody. That's it. It's Prophet and it's Lycan against Tiny and Templar Assassin. The BKB is cooling down in 30 seconds. That craggy exterior ruins Lycanthrope. Absolutely ruined him. When your BKB is not up, that will stun you. That will allow you to be killed quite easily. And they just gotta use the Scythe. They gotta find a way to use this Prophet Scythe device on the Tiny, on the TA. They can't be using it on supports at this point. It's just too much. Avalanche to start this off. Now the toss. BKB forced out, but there's your Scythe device. And the BKB. Kane is dropping low, but he's got a completed Mantis style, and he's just not an easy kill anymore. Top lane pushing in. Rex, again, down in that lane. The buffer building slowly being chopped away. Armageddon have just given away so much gold, so much experience this game. Both of these teams, you know, it's like they have a lead, and then they just hemorrhage that lead away. Queen of Pain. Armageddon do have 3 farmers, but the issue for them is they don't have anyone who's really pulling ahead, and they don't have multiple items that just win your team the fight with evenly farmed semi-carries. Queen of Pain doesn't have a Scythe device. Aghanim Scepter doesn't do that much in these team fights at this point in the game with so many BKBs online. Lycan goes for a heart, just wants to tank, and, you know, a great siege item, a great split pushing item. I feel like an Assault Cuirass might be the better choice, but he's just worried about that Avalanche Toss combo. He's worried about the burst damage bringing him down quickly from the nukes as well. Can Zenith really turn this game around? One thing that also could come into play as this game draws later is the Tiny Wisp backdoor combo. You can tether in, you can tether relocate into the enemy base and just get there quickly. So even if the lanes are pushed, you can just instantly be on top of the enemy side of the map. Instead of spending 30 seconds running down the lane, you're here in a jiffy. It's a Tesseract, if anyone's read A Wrinkle in Time. XY rotating. Just fold that space up and instantly arrive there. King's coming in for the bottom lane. The big smoke gank. This could be a hero they'd love to kill, but he's got a BKB. He's got his ult. He should be okay. Tossing in the TA. Now the BKB is forced out. He actually waits, but you can't fight this Tiny and TA. He's gonna die. Oh, a huge mistake. A horrible fight. Tiny going to work. Tiny gets another. 3 heroes dead. Who's got buyback? It's time to start checking because Smurf's in trouble. Guess what? The whole team's in trouble. Zenith is showing off that late game Tiny. They're going to move right onto the tier 2s. They're going to maul right through the backdoor protection. Overload going to work. The backdoor being attempted by Prophet. Hero Prophet trying to turn this game around. And Hero Jakiro will disconnect and buy some time for Zenith to think about this backdoor attempt and how to deal with it. For anyone just tuning in wondering, what the hell are you watching? You're watching the GEST Dota 2 playoffs. This is game number 3, Zenith versus Armageddon. And it has been a whopper, a doozy so far. Games number 1 and 2, not quite as interesting, but we're here in game 3. The winner of this moves on. It is single elimination. They'll be playing either MUC or First Departure. The winner of that best out of 3, which, by the way, is scheduled to kick off in about 20 minutes. So probably right after this match, which means, well, I'm going to have to eat my long overdue breakfast really quickly, as I have not eaten anything about 6-7 hours. But more importantly, the other big sort of marquee match for the day is our final match of the first round of the quarterfinals. It's Arj versus Mineski. It's Woots, it's Jules. I'm just kidding, there's no Jules. No more Jules and Mineski, makes me sad, but it's Woots and his merry band of followers from Mineski playing off against Mushi and his squad, and we'll be seeing a classic Dota 1 matchup. Mineski has not really proven to be a top Dota 1 team, but you never know. Maybe they've been practicing hard. Maybe they will be improving a little bit coming into this match. But that will be over at twitch.tv/GESTIDC. Of course, as always, if you've missed any of today's matches, if you missed the beginning of this game, you're just tuning in now, you want to see how it all started, how we got to this point, youtube.com/ldDOTA. All the VODs for today will be there. Of course, if you enjoy my cast, if you want to support me, Facebook, twitter.com/ldDOTA. Meanwhile, as far as the teams go, I know Zenith has a team. It's, or a Facebook page. It's facebook.com/teamzenith, I believe, for them. I think they have the Twitter as well. I don't remember, but I'm sure you can Google it, figure that out if you want to support the teams. I don't know about Armageddon's social media. I'll try and do some research, let you guys know if they have any. And, well, we're just waiting at this point for the reconnect from the Jakiro. This game, it feels like Zenith, who have all the momentum, but they are down 2 lanes of Rex, down 2 melee Rex, down 2 ranged Rex. This is a big fight, and, well, let's check buybacks. It's only Prophet who has it. Jakiro... Oh, sorry, he's on the radiant. That's not relevant. 3 buybacks and cooldown. Nobody has gold for it anyway. I think Zenith may be able to just push for the win. Not for the win, but kill off those mid-racks. Maybe even kill off another lane through the backdoor protection with Tiny Wisp. It's hard to say, though. It is a little bit hard to say. TA would really help with the Desolator, but she's not going to be there. The reconnect has arrived. We're back. We're ready to resume. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live again with game number 3, where Prophet is desperately TPing away. Back to base, the relocate in towards mid, but he doesn't bring the Tiny. Oh, what a huge blunder. This is massive time being wasted. Now Kane's gonna walk through mid. This is a good 20-25 seconds of time not being wasted. Now, Wisp actually ports back towards bottom, almost dying to the tower. Where's that Prophet? Gotta find this kill on Wisp. Not gonna go for it. Now mowing down the creep wave. Manta being popped. There is no glyph. They are working this Rex down quickly. They may get it anyway, but instead of 2 lanes of Rex, perhaps they only get 1. They will bring 1 lane down. Finally, the tether is there. The additional attack speed coming from the overcharge is there. 1 lane of Rex. Can they get 2? They've actually got 20 seconds. They may be able to do this. Metzel's about to wear out though. Prophet ult bouncing through. Sight device now decaying, bringing him low. Nutz trying to run. And the pipe will be popped by the Jakiro, who is looking like a Darkseer with these items. We are 44 minutes in though. They get 1 later Rex. It probably should have been 2, but that 20 seconds or so of wasted time really costed them. Really cost them. Costed is not a word. For anyone who doesn't know, costed is actually not a word. The past tense of cost is not costed, it is cost. Just to confuse y'all a little more. A little English lesson for you there if anyone actually cares. But XY has a Chrysalis now, has a Daedalus. More importantly, he should have his buyback. Tiny and the TA both a buyback. This gives Zenith a huge margin for error, and with one lane of racks, they've started to equalize the creep equilibrium. If we look at sort of the vision for both teams, still the Dire who see a bit more, it's still the Dire who have, well, the lane's pushing in, but it's not an overwhelming margin anymore. Here comes the backdoor attempt. It's the tether combo. They want this Rax. Are they going to pay for it? This could be greedy. This could be bad. tsuwamon will fall, and with him, the tether that would bring them both back is gone. Now Kane's caught out of position. Can he kill everyone by himself? Epicenter can slow you down through BKB. Now he's sprouted. Now he's held in place. He does have buyback, but this is a big kill to force out. Kane will fall. I just don't know about that gambit from Zenith. That was a little bit too greedy, a little bit too bold for my tastes. They do get a tier 3. It comes at what should be the cost of a tiny buyback. He's dead for 85 seconds. The top buffer buildings are all gone. The middle buffer buildings are all gone. They've only got a few of these little huts left. And that means the tier 4s start getting wailed upon. Soon, you have to worry about potential backdoors and into the tier 4s, into the throne. XY cannot blink because the wolves are hitting him. He is able to blink away into the trees. Now going to TP out. Need to create those treants, but it's on cooldown. Sprout can be used to give you a tiny bit of vision, but unfortunately not in the right spot. TA escapes. More importantly, TA stalls. And it looks like Tiny, maybe it was a good decision in the end. If he's not going to be forced to buy back, this definitely works in their favor. That third Roshan is coming soon. And this is the one thing that will work in Armageddon's favor now, is they get to push out these lanes. They get some serious map control, and Zenith have done what they can, at least to keep the lane wards off the map, so when they go to counter push, they're not getting profit ganked, they're not getting smoke ganked. Buyback is forced. Kane just can't wait any longer, and that's all that Armageddon really wanted. We're getting into that epic territory now. It's only 47 minutes in, but we're seeing some base trade attempts. We're seeing some backdoor attempts. We're going to see our third Roshan momentarily. TP in, I guess they didn't write the time down. This is a little bit early, and crucially, oh boy, we saw this one yesterday. The Templar Assassin traps inside of the Roshan pit. This could turn the tides of the game. Happened yesterday in IG versus EK after probably an hour of pauses, just an eternity of pauses. They're going to jump right into the pit. It looks like Zenith didn't write the time down either, thinking that they might catch Armageddon out there. Prophet's going to TP top. FaZe or Faker, maybe in a little bit of trouble mid. Both sides backdooring the enemy creep wave. Just cutting them off, getting that momentum going in their favor. Oh boy. If you're not already using your ventilator, using that inhaler if you have asthma, I recommend keeping it on standby, because this game is getting to that point where we're going to see probably 20 buybacks. We're going to see probably some crazy turns of events. Not yet, though. Queen of Pain has spent her gold. She's bought an ultimate orb. Or wait, sorry, no. She's 161 short of buyback. Okay. So she's almost got it. Ghost Scepter up on the Shrek. Lycan just not hitting hard enough right now. Oh no. Faker, don't get caught. Base turn is up. He will actually use the BKB. They're trying to work down the Roshan, but Zenith are in a decent position. The bottom lane's pushing in. If Prophet TP's away to that, though, then he won't have the sight device available. If they abandon this pit, Zenith could take this Rosh very, very quickly. Roshan is actually getting craggy. Craggy Roshan. Here comes the Prophet. He wants to force the back. They can probably just take the Rosh and then relocate back and also kill the Prophet. Oh, they're dropping low. They gotta fight now. Rosh will fall. Blink in from the Queen of Pain. They go back. They're looking to kill off the Prophet. Meanwhile, at the Rosh pit, XY will fall. XY will die. He's got the Aegis. This will be a wasted Aegis, but it will also be an Aegis denied towards Armageddon. Maybe not blink onto the high ground. XY, no TP for him. Tiny Wisp looking to come back. Only Wisp was here once again. Tiny not brought back by the tether. Some serious miscommunication, I think, from these guys. I feel they could have fought that with the TA up on the high ground, but they're choosing not to. Now, Prophet in the front lines. Who is going to kill the supports first? It looks like Nutz will die first before that Tiny. Tiny's down to a 5-second BKB. If they can stun him, they can possibly bring him down. Top lane's pushing in. It's getting a little out of control for my tastes right now. 5 heroes grouped up bottom. Armageddon thinking about delivering a dose of dystopia towards Zenith. They want to win this game. They are desperate to just get these racks down. Zenith do not have the cheese. It looks like the cheese was either denied, sold, or used at some point during that fight. No idea where it went. BKB is down on the Tiny, but he's got a Daedalus up. He needs a crit. He's not getting the crits yet. XY, however, is getting the crits. He's in the front lines. He's driving that Sandcade back. Sandcade bursts straight to the high ground, blinking forward, and the toss. Triple kill, jams it in. And now the Lycan will be able to run away. Oh boy. Double buybacks. Armageddon just cannot win a fight. They only have one site device against two BKB carries, two insanely tanky and powerful DPSers. Speaking of powerful, 4.5k gold up on that Templar Assassin. Tiny, after the buyback, still sitting on 2.5k. Pretty much maxed out. It's just boots of travel for him at this point. There's nothing else he can buy. Oh, this could be bad for Jolin. He's dropping low. Maybe it could be great. There's the burrow strike. They munch up too. And now it begs the question, can TA buy back? She can. Meanwhile, Tiny looking to get this tier 2 bottom. He will do so. No, he's got to hit it with this hero. He lets the backdoor regen kick it, wasting precious seconds, wasting precious time. Buyback from TA. The ping pong goes the other way, and L Smurf and his squad will back off for the moment. Everybody's coming top. Tiny Wisp is here, but where's the backup? Where's that site device? Where is that Prophet? He's dead for 8 more seconds. Tiny going to work, chopping away at the racks. Now relocating back to the base. Oh, my poor voice. My poor vocal cords. And actually, as I say that, some would say drink honey lemon, it's good for the throat. By the way, if you haven't watched Southeast Asian Dota, this is what we see all the time in these games. It's buybacks, it's backdooring, it's crazy team fights, it's just constant trading. It's definitely a different kind of game style. It's definitely more mistakes being made than your Chinese Dota, but it makes for it's almost Russian Dota, you know, in a sense. If you like your CIS Dota, Southeast Asian Dota is the Asian version of that. Just crazy aggression for both teams, crazy, you know, diving and forcing fights that maybe you shouldn't, buybacks galore, backdooring, all that sort of good stuff. This is what you can expect if you watch GEST. This is what you can expect, well, if you tune into these broadcasts. So again, if you guys are enjoying the cast, make sure follow us here at Beyond the Summit. We'll be casting the rest of the matches for today and for the whole GST Dota 2 and for the matches to come as well. For that, there will be a subsequent event featuring the winners of this event, as well as IG and LGD. So we'll get to see some Chinese versus Southeast Asia action. Here comes the push mid though, Zenith. Just pushing that lane, and now the backdoor protection won't be available bottom. They do have a glyph. The buyback check, it's time for it. Only Tiny and Light can have it. Gotta be careful if you're those heroes. Racks will fall in a matter of seconds. This is gonna be 2 lanes. BKB is available. Tiny pops it now. Now he goes in. What's that Prophet? Tossing him up in the air, chopping him away. Prophet really tanky, but not quite enough. And Prophet will fall. No buyback for him. This could be the end. The creeps are all pushed out. Zenith are winning this game. Zenith, after just a horrible mid-game, turning the late game around. Not enough damage on the side of Armageddon. Nobody can stand against that giant pile of rocks. 6.7k about to be claimed by him. Could buy a Rapier, could buy an Abyssal Blade, could buy a Boots of Travel, whatever the hell he wants. Could buy a Lamborghini, and now just absolute massacre of the base. It's not heroes that are dying. It's King. 1300 damage crit. Oh my goodness. Somebody stop this rocks. Where's that TNT? Where's that demolition crew when you need it? The only demolition is the mountain. Oh god. In the end, Zenith win an absolute barn burner. Just an absolute, you saw that gold graph for a moment. Just up and down and all around the world we go. Zenith will be your Singaporean semi-finalist moving out of this game. They had their ups, they had their downs. They did not play consistently throughout the series, but they did enough when it counted. Armageddon gave it a hell of a fight. The late game decision making not the best. The item selection a little bit questionable, but still overall played very well. Pushed Zenith to the brink, and then Zenith pushed back, shoved Armageddon out of the ring. Ladies and gentlemen, that wraps it up for this particular series. Zenith will be moving on into that Final Four. They'll be moving on to the semifinals. Unfortunately, Armageddon, we have to bid them adieu for now. But stay tuned, because we will have another game coming up soon. MUFC versus First Departure in probably 10 to 15 minutes time. So thanks again for watching. If you enjoyed my cast, follow me, YouTube, Facebook, twitter.com/ldDOTA. Make sure to follow the stream as well. If you really want to go the extra mile and support us or GST, there is an in-game ticket available. Well, it doesn't support us, but we still love to see you guys buy them. Support the organizers, dotatalk.com. You can find all your coverage there, facebook.com/GESTIDC. And of course, you can follow Zenith on Twitter and on Facebook. That wraps it up for this game, but we will be coming back soon with MUFC versus First Departure. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and stay tuned. We'll be back in a jiffy.